Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, brighttobias, where we make the voice of blacks heard across the globe and where we break down the biggest stories shaping Africa's future. If you're passionate about Pan-Africanism, economic empowerment, and bold leadership, then consider subscribing to the channel and buckle up because today's video is a must-watch. Imagine this. No more visa fees holding you back from exploring a vibrant African nation. No more bureaucratic hurdles draining your wallet just to connect with your brothers and sisters across the continent. That's exactly what just happened in Burkina Faso. On September 11th, 2025, Captain IbrahimTraore, the young and visionary leader of Burkina Faso, declared free visa entry for all African travelers. That's right, citizens from every corner of our 54-nation continent can now apply for visas online without paying a single dime. This isn't just a policy tweak, it's a revolutionary step toward true African unity. In a world where Africans often face more barriers traveling within Africa than to Europe or America, Traore is flipping the script. Today, we're going deep. We'll unpack the full details of this announcement, the context behind it, and, most importantly, how it's set to transform Burkina Faso in profoundly positive ways. From booming tourism to economic growth and cultural revival, the benefits are endless. If you're excited about this, smash that like button right now, subscribe for more Africa-focused content, and hit the bell so you never miss an update. Let's dive in. Before we get into the announcement, let's set the stage. Who is this leader making waves across the continent? Captain IbrahimTraore is not your typical politician. At just 37 years old, he's one of Africa's youngest heads of state, and he came to power through a military coup in September 2022. Traore, a trained artillery officer, led the ousting of the previous junta, promising to tackle Burkina Faso's deep-rooted issues like corruption, poverty, and insecurity. What sets Traore apart is his unapologetic Pan-African stance. He's often criticized Western influence and colonialism, drawing inspiration from icons like Thomas Sankara, Burkina Faso's revolutionary leader in the 1980s, who was assassinated in a coup backed by foreign powers. Traore has rebranded the country as Burkina Faso, meaning land of honest people, and emphasized self-reliance. Under his transitional government, he's forged new alliances, like with Russia for security support, while pulling Burkina Faso out of ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States, alongside Mali and Niger, to form the Alliance of Sahel States. Critics point to challenges like the ongoing jihadist insurgency that controls about 40% of the country. But Traore's popularity, especially among Africa's youth, is skyrocketing. Social media is buzzing with memes and videos hailing him as a modern Sankara. And now with this visa policy, he's proving his commitment to African solidarity isn't just talk, it's action. This announcement comes straight from a cabinet meeting he chaired on September 11th, 2025, signaling that unity is at the heart of his vision. All right, let's get to the heart of the news. On Thursday, September 11th, 2025, during a routine Council of Ministers meeting in Ouagadougou, the bustling capital of Burkina Faso, Security Minister Mahamadou Sana dropped the bombshell. From now on, he declared, any citizen from an African country wishing to go to Burkina Faso will not pay any amount to cover visa fees. But hold on, is this truly visa-free entry? Not quite, and that's important to clarify for accuracy. Travelers from other African countries will still need to submit an online visa application through Burkina Faso's electronic portal. These applications will be reviewed and approved by authorities, ensuring security checks are in place. However, once approved, there's zero cost involved, no processing fees, no hidden charges. This is a huge shift from the previous system, where African nationals often paid up to $50 or more for visas, depending on their country of origin. For context, citizens from ECOWAS countries, like Nigeria, Ghana, and Senegal, could already enter visa-free for short stays, but Burkina Faso's exit from ECOWAS last year created uncertainty. This new policy extends the benefit continent-wide, covering everyone from South Africa's vibrant entrepreneurs to Kenya's tech innovators and even North African visitors from Morocco or Egypt. The government's information service emphasized that this decree aims to strengthen the free movement of African people and their goods in Burkina Faso territory while promoting African integration. The timing couldn't be better. As of September 14th, 2025, just days after the announcement, social media is exploding. Hashtags like hashtag Traore visa free and hashtag Africa United are trending on Twitter, with young Africans sharing travel dreams. One viral post from a Nigerian user said, "Finally, I can visit the land of Sankara without breaking the bank." And government spokesperson Pingdwende Gilbert Wedraugo confirmed it's all part of Traore's broader Pan-African agenda. No official start date beyond immediate effect has been set, but the e-visa portal is already updating to reflect the fee waiver. This isn't isolated. Burkina Faso is joining a wave of progressive African policies. Rwanda has offered visa-free entry to Africans since 2018. Kenya launched its ETA, Electronic Travel Authorization System, last year, waiving fees for many, and Ghana announced visa-free access for all African passport holders earlier in 2025. Traore's move aligns perfectly with the African Union's Agenda 2063, which dreams of a borderless Africa. But what makes this special? It's coming from a Sahel nation amid challenges, showing resilience and forward-thinking leadership. Now the juicy part, how will this free visa policy supercharge Burkina Faso? Let's break it down into key areas. I'll focus on the positives because this policy has the potential to be a catalyst for real transformation in a country that's long been overlooked. Burkina Faso, with its 23 million people, rich gold mines and cotton fields, has so much untapped potential. This could unlock it all. First up, tourism boom. Burkina Faso isn't your typical beach destination, but that's its charm. Think ancient mossy kingdoms, the stunning Sindhu Peaks rock formations, or the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Lorapeni Ruins, Africa's oldest stone monument, dating back over 1,000 years. Ouagadougou hosts the world's largest film festival, FESPACO, drawing filmmakers from across the continent. And don't get me started on the vibrant markets like Grand Marché, where you can haggle for handmade Bogoland fabrics or taste jollof rice with a Burkinabe twist. Right now, tourism contributes less than 3% to GDP, hampered by visa barriers and security perceptions. But with free visas, expect a surge. African travelers, cheaper flights within the continent via airlines like ASKY or Ethiopian will flock in. Families reuniting, cultural exchanges, adventure seekers. The government predicts this will promote tourism and Burkinabe culture, and experts agree. A similar policy in Rwanda boosted visitor numbers by 25% in its first year. For Burkina Faso, this means more hotels, guides, and artisans getting business. Local communities in places like Bobo Dioulasso could see income double from homestays and craft sales. Positive ripple, reduced youth unemployment as tour companies hire more locals. Second, economic growth and trade. Free movement isn't just about vacations, it's about business. Burkina Faso is a gold powerhouse, producing over 50 tons annually and a major cotton exporter. But intra-African trade is only 18% of total trade, thanks to borders and fees. This policy changes that. Entrepreneurs from Nigeria's Lagos markets or South Africa's Johannesburg investors can now visit easily to scout opportunities. Imagine Ghanaian traders importing Burkinabe shea butter without visa costs eating into profits. Or Kenyan tech firms partnering on solar projects. Burkina Faso's sunny climate is perfect for renewables. The African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA, launched in 2021, aims for $450 billion in gains by 2035. Burkina Faso, as a member, could see exports rise 20 to 30%, creating jobs in logistics, agriculture, and manufacturing. Small businesses thrive too. Street vendors in Ouagadougou preparing for more African customers means more revenue for farmers supplying ingredients. Overall GDP boost? Analysts project 2 to 4% growth in the next few years, pulling thousands out of poverty. And with online approvals ensuring quick processing, deals can happen fast. No more waiting months for visas. Third, cultural exchange, and soft power. This policy is a love letter to Pan-Africanism. Burkina Faso, birthplace of Sankora's Speak Out revolution, has always punched above its weight culturally. Free visas mean more artists, students, and activists crossing borders. Picture Moroccan musicians collaborating at FESPACO, or Ethiopian students studying at the University of Ouagadougou without financial barriers. This builds visibility abroad, as the government says. Burkina Faso's story, resilient people fighting for sovereignty, gets shared firsthand. Social media amplifies it. Travelers posting hashtag Burkina Adventures could go viral, countering negative narratives from the insurgency. For locals, it's empowering. Sharing Mossi traditions or Fulani storytelling fosters pride and unity. Long-term, stronger diplomatic ties. As Burkina Faso leads the Alliance of Sahel states, this attracts allies, potentially easing security through shared intelligence and joint ventures. Fourth, social and human development benefits. Beyond economics, think people. Easier travel means family reunions for the diaspora. Millions of Burkinabe live in Côte d'Ivoire or Ghana. Remittances, already $1 billion yearly, could rise with more connections. Education exchanges. African professors and students collaborating on agriculture or health, addressing issues like malaria. Health tourism too. Burkina's traditional medicine, like shea-based remedies, draws interest. And for women entrepreneurs, who make up 70% of informal traders, this opens markets without borders. In a country where 40% live below the poverty line, this inclusivity reduces isolation. Youth, Traore's biggest fans, get inspired to innovate, perhaps starting cross-border startups. Environmentally positive too, more ecotourism promotes sustainable practices in national parks like W National Park, home to elephants and lions. Zooming out, this isn't just good for Burkina Faso, it's a beacon for Africa. The AU has long pushed for visa-free travel. Only 28 countries currently offer it to Africans. Traore's move pressures others to follow, accelerating AFCFTA. Amid global challenges like climate change, unified Africa means stronger bargaining power. For Burkina Faso specifically, it positions the country as a Sahel hub, attracting investment despite hurdles. Security-wise, more visitors mean better intelligence networks, indirectly aiding anti-insurgency efforts. Of course, implementation matters. Online systems must be glitch-free and approval swift. But early signs are promising. The portal is updating, and Traore's government has a track record of quick reforms, like nationalizing mines for local benefit. Now let's put this free visa policy into a broader African context. Burkina Faso isn't the first to make waves with open borders, but it's carving a unique path. Let's compare it to other trailblazers to see why Traore's move stands out and how it could inspire the continent. Take Rwanda, for example. Since 2018, Rwanda has offered visa-free entry to all African citizens. No questions asked, no application, no fees. Just show up with your passport. It's been a game changer. Tourism revenue jumped 25% in the first year, and Kigali's convention centers now host global summits like the African Union meetings. Rwanda's President Paul Kagame paired this with heavy investment in infrastructure. Think shiny airports and eco-lodges. The result? Rwanda is seen as East Africa's tourism and tech hub, with GDP growth averaging 7% annually. Now, Burkina Faso's approach is different. It's not fully visa-free. You still need an online application. This balances openness with security, crucial given the Sahel's challenges. Unlike Rwanda, which markets itself as a polished destination, Burkina Faso offers raw, authentic experiences. Think cultural festivals in Bobo Dioulasso or hiking the Tenakuru Peak, West Africa's highest point. Rwanda's success shows what's possible, but Burkina Faso's policy feels more grassroots, rooted in Pan-African ideals rather than just economic gain. Then there's Ghana, which rolled out visa-free access for all Africans in early 2025, building on its Year of Return campaign that drew thousands from the diaspora. Ghana's focus is cultural reconnection, especially for Afro-descendants, with sites like Cape Coast slave castles. Burkina Faso, though, leans into intra-African unity, targeting travelers from Lagos to Addis Ababa. Ghana's policy boosted intra-African trade by 15% in 6 months. Burkina Faso could see similar gains, especially in gold and shea exports. Finally, Kenya introduced its Electronic Travel Authorization, ETA, in 2025, waiving fees for many African nations. Kenya's tech-driven system is slick, but it's selective. Some countries still pay. Burkina Faso's blanket, no fees for any African policy is bolder, especially for a landlocked Sahel nation with fewer resources. This comparison shows Traore's move isn't just following trends, it's a statement. By aligning with the African Union's Agenda 2063 for seamless travel, Burkina Faso is positioning itself as a leader in the Sahel, inspiring neighbors like Mali and Niger. What's the takeaway? Burkina Faso's policy is practical yet visionary. It learns from Rwanda's openness, Ghana's cultural pull, and Kenya's tech, but it's uniquely Burkinabe, rooted in Sankara's legacy of unity and defiance. This could spark a domino effect, pushing more African nations to drop visa barriers. Now let's be real, no policy is perfect, and even the best ideas face hurdles. While we're hyping the positives, it's worth looking at potential challenges to understand how Burkina Faso can make this a success. Don't worry, we'll keep it constructive and show how these can be overcome. First, security concerns. Burkina Faso faces a serious insurgency, with jihadist groups controlling about 40% of its territory, especially in the north and east. Opening borders, even with e-visa checks, raises questions about vetting travelers. Could this policy strain an already stretched security system? The government's response is proactive. The online application ensures background checks, and Traore's administration has boosted military spending, with new drones and training from allies like Russia. Plus, more African visitors could strengthen regional cooperation. Think intelligence sharing with neighbors like Ghana or Senegal. A secure Burkina Faso is a stronger Burkina Faso, and this policy could indirectly support that. Second, infrastructure strain. Burkina Faso's tourism sector is underdeveloped. Ouagadougou's airport handles only about 600,000 passengers annually, compared to Nairobi's 8 million. Hotels and roads need upgrades to handle a tourist surge. But here's the positive spin. This policy could attract investment. Rwanda built its tourism boom on foreign dollars. Burkina Faso could draw funds from AFCFTA partners or even diaspora investors to build eco-resorts or improve roads to sites like the Banfora waterfalls. The government's already investing in solar energy. Why not tourism infrastructure next? Third, bureaucratic efficiency. The e-visa system sounds great, but what if it crashes or approvals take weeks? African travelers know the frustration of glitchy government portals. To counter this, Burkina Faso's tech ministry is upgrading servers, and Traore's team has a track record of fast reforms, like digitizing tax collection in 2024. Learning from Kenya's ETA rollout, they could partner with tech firms to streamline the process, ensuring approvals in 48 hours or less. These challenges are real, but they're not deal breakers. Traore's government has shown it can adapt. Look at how they've tackled corruption, jailing corrupt officials, and nationalizing mines for public benefit. With proper execution, this policy could turn challenges into opportunities, like job creation in tech or construction for infrastructure upgrades. Let's zoom into the pulse of the people. On the media, the reaction to this announcement is electric. A user from South Africa posted, "Burkina Faso just made it easier for me to visit FESPACO. Traore is the real deal." A Kenyan entrepreneur tweeted, "No visa fees. I'm scouting gold deals in Ouagadougou next month." Even skeptics are intrigued. One user from Nigeria asked, "Sounds amazing, but is it safe to travel there?" This shows excitement tempered with questions, which is natural. Locally, Burkinabe citizens are buzzing with pride. A market vendor in Bobo Dioulasso told a local reporter, "More Africans visiting means more customers for my fabrics." Youth groups in Ouagadougou are planning welcome festivals for visitors with traditional drumming and dance. But some rural communities, less connected to urban centers, worry about missing out on the benefits. The government's response? Plans to promote rural tourism, like eco-villages in the Cascades region, ensuring the whole country feels the impact. This groundswell of support shows the policy's uniting power. It's not just top-down. Ordinary Burkinabe are ready to welcome their African family. And that's what makes this policy so special. It's a people's movement as much as a government one. Let's dream big for a moment. Imagine Burkina Faso 5 years from now, transformed by this policy. Ouagadougou's airport is bustling with African travelers. No visa fees, just smiles. New hotels dot the skyline, built with AFCFTA funds. Markets are packed with traders from Accra to Addis, exchanging goods and ideas. FESPACO is now the Cannes of Africa, drawing global stars. Rural villages thrive as ecotourism hubs, with locals leading tours of sacred sites. And across the continent, other nations follow suit, dropping visa fees, inspired by Traore's courage. This isn't just a pipe dream. Burkina Faso's history proves its resilience. From Sankara's revolution to Traore's reforms, this nation dares to defy odds. The free visa policy could make Burkina Faso the beating heart of the Sahel, a hub for trade, culture, and innovation. It's a step toward the African Union's vision of a single passport, a single market, a single Africa. Traore's move says, we're not waiting for 2063, we're starting now. Captain IbrahimTraore's free visa policy is more than a travel perk. It's a bold step toward a united, prosperous Africa. It's a reminder that even in challenging times, visionaries like Traore can light the way. Burkina Faso is open, ready, and calling. Will you answer? Wrapping up, Captain Ibrahim Traore's free visa declaration is more than policy. It's a promise of unity, growth, and pride for Burkina Faso. From tourism revivals to trade explosions and cultural bridges, the positives are transformative, lifting a nation toward prosperity. Thank you for watching, family. Stay inspired, stay connected, and let's keep pushing for an Africa without borders. Until next time, stay out of trouble.